Hello, in this video we're going to discuss Medicine Part 11, Viruses. So firstly, we look at the planning for humankind after Noah's flood. Spaceships came to Earth and delivered to Earth trees. And coating these trees is a lichen called penicillin, which is deliberately planned and heals most things. So sickness is healed by penicillin, which we call today antibiotics. So I see on the media a lot of lies and manipulation of the public. I also see doctors not treating patients the right way. So with regard to Ebola and Coronavirus and Bubonic Plague can be healed with penicillin. Okay, even if you scraped it off a tree and ate it, it would heal you of it. So we have a problem here regarding this. You're just simply not using it, which is disgusting. So otherwise we wouldn't have people running around terrified because of this virus. This could also be fake news, but I'm just telling you, all virus chassis can be healed of an infection with penicillin. All of them. Alright, so detection is done through a petri dish. So you take a sample of saliva from the patient and put it in a petri dish. It takes a while. You grow a sample and then you observe it with a microscope. That's how you detect a virus. Okay, so you get your symptoms and that's how you confirm it is in the petri dish. No other way, not with things that spin around. Petri dish. Okay, we don't deliberately deliver a biological agent on Earth at all. So with regard to this, these don't come up from nowhere, they come up from somewhere. So in the case of Ebola, it is a virus that was collected from sick people and grown and kept grown in petri dishes underground, and then used through an injection disguised as a vaccine and delivered to a population, and that's how it infected an area in Africa, the Ebola. So it's a deliberately created, a deliberately manufactured biological agent that is delivered through injection to the victims. Alright, so that's the primary way in which they do it. Just remember, they grow it in petri dishes, so police and law enforcement will eventually come across this, where they see rooms full of petri dishes underground. So it's not deliberately delivered by heaven. It's not there to wipe people out. Deliberately, it is the Tudors, who are Freemasons, witches and Wiccans, go underground and they have these bunkers where they have petri dishes and they collect samples. They also have measles down there, mumps and other diseases. With vaccines, do you know what you're injecting people with? Right, so there are people wandering around saying that they're a scientist and have their vaccine. Yeah, viruses don't kill viruses. Alright, you're an offender. We're going to put you in prison. Right? And with regard to penicillin, if a government withholds penicillin from the population, you're an offender. You're going to prison. Alright, so we go all the way up to politicians, and that goes for purgatory as well. So we don't tolerate this sort of nonsense in heaven. We arrest people. So penicillin is how you treat a patient. In the case of a country like New Zealand, if you do not have any penicillin for some reason, then you'd need to look at an underground way of getting it. Not underground as in like the Tudors, but as in a sneaky way of getting penicillin into a country. Which does happen, and undermines Tudors who are running a government and deliberately controlling penicillin. So in their view, the Tudors' view, they want people to suffer and be unhappy as much as possible. Sickness is one of the ways in which they deliver this, and withholding penicillin is one way in which they do it. So they did lie, and they got doctors and nurses to lie about penicillin. They said that the more you use it, it waters it down, and then eventually it won't heal anyone of anything. Absolute garbage. You're an offender. You're going to prison. Everyone involved in that is going to prison. Right? You'll wind up in there for a long time because you've affected the population dramatically. There are people who are sick who didn't need to be. A person could wake up with the flu today, go to a doctor, get penicillin, and be feeling better half an hour afterwards. Alright? So in the future, penicillin will be more readily available to everyone. Alright? And DNA code. So that's viruses, where they come from. The origins of viruses is that they were attached to some creatures. And that's how they found their way into a society and got people sick. The origin of Ebola, however, is deliberate, and Caronavirus is also deliberate. They're both, in fact, Ebola virus. With bubonic, it was purely by accident that people were infected with something. And with regard to plagues in Egypt during the Exodus, that was food poisoning. I'm the Archangel Daniel, and I'm from heaven.